I'm in the home of Richard Christen, Steinauer, Nebraska. He's going to be our speaker today at the Martin Luther Veterans Service. And so, Richard, I want you to start out why you joined the Army and go from there. Okay?
Okay. Well, here I am, a farm boy. No high school education, but I was working at home and wasn't getting nowhere. And they come up with the idea, the government, an idea 18-year-olds could go in for 1 year. Okay, so I went to the service. Ended up in Fort, down here in Kansas.
Fort Riley.
Yeah. And it was that wet year. We didn't do much maneuvers or anything. It was mostly all in barracks and talking lectures and so forth. So anyway, we graduated and we were sent on a train from Omaha going down southeast to Fort Benning, Georgia. It was a nice long trip. And we got to see a lot of country. Anyway, Sand Hill, they were starting up a new outfit. The barracks was empty and we had to clean it up and everything. I remember when back 155 howitzers, and it has a big personnel carrier, pull the gun. And I got home again. I worked in Omaha a while, so from December to next September, I was called back to the service. And there we went to Fort Lewis. Nice train ride, click, click, click all the way. And I had a 2-week refresher course there. And after that we were put together in packets to fly to Japan. These were the big planes from Berlin airlift transport planes. And it was kind of exciting when I believe there were 6 motors. We rev one up and then each an individual and then all 6 of them. Felt like it was going to fall apart. But was I ever airsick? Down to Sasebo, we walked around there for a few days, and that's right. Then we went up and we joined the 3rd Division that was in mobilizing for Korea. They got us all together. We went down, took us down to the port, and we got to climb on the boat through the rope thing, ladder like, trying to give us some warlike maneuvers, I guess. From there, we went to the edge of Korea there, and we landed in Wonsan, North Korea. And of course, we got our first ride on an LST, and it just opened up the thing in front, and you walked out on the ground, and there we are in North Korea. We ended up at, it was called Sakani, and it isn't on the maps. Well, first day it sure looked nice. Lots of fires. Second day, they told us to put them out. And the 3rd day, well, night, it was stripped back out. And before you know it, incoming fire, mortar fire, knocked out. Could be mortar or 105s. Then we had tree bursts on the bank, and we thought of them guys we had for outposts down, dug in the bank, and we wondered how they were going to be. Anyway, I went down, we sat in the trench and listened to all of this, plus machine gun fire. The tracers, you'd see them, and you'd worry when they started, and then you'd worry twice as much when it quit. They didn't overrun us, and must have knocked it down, but we as a squad, we were withdrawn, and this would be continuation through the mountains back to must have been Angham, and then it's down on level ground. Actually, we had a couple of days there where the Marines or somebody had a warehouse, and we just lived on all leftover stuff that was left back. We got all winter parkas, boots, vests under it, long johns. At this time, between the Air Force and the big guns in the sea, they were keeping them at bay. Of course, all this time, they were evacuating the guys from the Chosin Reservoir, and that was terrible for anybody that was there. All them guys that were up at the head of the fighting and so on never did get any winter, I'll call it equipment or apparel. I really felt for them guys. I think they had to go through that. The book says it was 30 below. And we went on down to Hangnan, to the ocean. Meantime, we were on the last division that loaded out, and it happened we had this stockpile of ammo. All I knew, somebody said, run for it or something. I didn't know what was wrong exactly until the blast knocked me down. And this whole ammo pile, even though it's in the canisters, and supposedly as we were running down the sea, first was a blast. I think Ed Cook was a long-legged guy. I was thinking, why in the heck can't you run faster? And we run, and then we finally come back, everybody was gone. The infantry, some of them was loading up through our area, and some of them got hurt, but everything was gone, and we got to flag down one of them vehicles that looks kind of like a Jeep, but runs on the water and on the land. We threw a mortar on the back of it, and he took us out to a ship. And we got there, but it was a long ways up there. A spiral ladder, we're supposed to go and take we threw the mortar in the ocean and took whatever we had, a bit of a pack or so on, and we walked up, and I always felt like we were hitchhiking back south, like 5 days by ship, because they never did know we were there. From the ship onto an LST again, and parked, we'll call it the Busan area, because I didn't ever see the Poussin, I don't think. And we had to start walking up kind of a trail. Finally, we found a place. Okay, we were probably a week there. Got new rifles. And then we transferred to Chonan. I think it was a empty school barracks. Spent the rest of the winter, so to speak. All the time I was there, we were on line once in a while, but we didn't suffer any casualties. And we went on to, I think it was the Eastern Front, and that's where we were online and for about 10 days, and we got to watch over the valley, and it was really great. The Air Force would come flying through the valley with floodlights on their planes, really light up the area, and you could see the other side if anything was stirring. And I was glad to see them come. There's one night especially, they knew the Chinese were coming, and it was kind of a pass, but it was a wide area, not just a road, a wide area between two ranges. We fired all night, and next morning it's smoky, afterwards, but everything was quiet. Actually, we stopped them, and we inflicted maybe by the hundreds of casualties on them. We were firing, helping the infantry guys right in front of them, but they come in droves and that's where the mortars come in great. So we might have been maybe not quite a mile, half a mile back. Mortar has a 3-mile range. I only was gone a year. I think I've got to look up when I left about the 10th of September, and I think that's about when I got back. I would like to pass this on a little more, and that everybody was conscious of the guys that have really sacrificed some time, even though we wouldn't want it any other way, but we're glad we did it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for serving the United States Army in the Korean War.
Thank you.
You bet.